Geoff White. I'm an investigative journalist and an author. I feel a fraud saying I'm an investigative journalist. I've never actually been hired technically as an investigative journalist. What I am is just obsessive. I don't leave things alone. I fiddle with things until they break. And so as a journalist in the newsroom, certainly on the programs I worked on Channel 4 News, worked on ITV News, but on the BBC. The idea was you're sort of an on-the-day news person. It's like, okay, you investigate this story today, and then you come in tomorrow and they say, well, that's gone now. We do the next story. And I always think to myself, well, I haven't finished with the old one yet. There's still loads of stuff we didn't find out about it. So I found myself, sadly, in my spare time on days off, going back to stories we hadn't finished and trying to finish them and trying to do them. That apparently makes you an investigative journalist. Investigative journalism, there's only one secret to it. You just do what the other person doesn't. And sooner or later, you get the story they didn't. That's basically being an investigative journalist. So that's what I've ended up being. I worked with Channel 4 News for about 10 years, and I covered tech for them. I was a tech correspondent for them. And you've got to realize, well, when I started out, tech was this Cassandra subject. It was the kind of end of program funny, like the sort of dog on a skateboard kind of thing. It's, we'll have a tech story. And it would be Steve Jobs launching the iPad or the iPhone or something. There'd be some video game that was really popular. The problem with being at the end of a news program, TV news program particularly, is that you get dropped. If something else more important comes in at the top, you get dropped off the bottom. So if you're at the end of the program, we kept getting dropped. So that is no good. So I started going to these like tech security conferences and computer hacking conferences, and I started hearing about all the stuff that was happening. People were losing money, companies were losing information, one government would be hacking into another. And I was like, this is where it's at. This is the tech that actually matters, that counts. So I started pushing us into covering that. And so for a long time at Channel 4 News, we did that kind of stuff. We ended up covering the Snowden papers, the Snowden leaks, covering the whole anonymous hacking campaign, the guys with the Guy Fawkes masks. We did the 2016 presidential election, which obviously was the center of a huge hack by the Russians. So you could just see tech security like going up the news agenda. People getting more and more excited and interested by it and realizing this stuff actually matters. And gratifying now to see that AI is making the news on almost daily basis. People understand tech matters and it's important in a way they didn't before.